Much for tuning in to another episode of the Sunday Service Podcast. Today's episode is very special because we have Eniola with us, who is a skin expert. She's here to give us all the wisdom about caring for our skins properly and just knowledge about what is included in skin health. So thank you so much, Eniola, for being here with us. It is such an honor to speak with you. So let's begin. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your expertise.
Thank you for having me on here. My name is Eniola. I got a Bachelor's of Arts degree in English from a prestigious university in Nigeria and Lagos, to be precise. So basically, I grew up in Lagos. I grew up in a place called Surulere in Lagos. And over the past few years, I've had a couple of career changes. So I used to be in advertising, media advertising, and then I made a switch in 2020 into what I currently do, which is skincare. I attended the Beauty Therapy Institute in Lagos, which is a South African franchise of the Beauty Therapy Institute, basically. And I've taken a few professional courses. I'm ITech certified, and amongst other things. And I have 3 years and counting experience in skincare, focusing more on dark skin types, because obviously these are more of the people that I see every day based on my geographical location.
Thank you so much, Eniola. That was very beautiful. And I noticed that you said that your specific skill sets are for people of melanin skin. So what made you just focus on that specific type of audience?
Okay, initially it was because the cosmetic dermatologist I used to work with focused, it was a skin of color, or is a skin of color specialist, and that kind of geared me towards that automatically, because this was the person I trained under and that I learned for a couple of years before I came to be on my own. And also because in my course of training, realized that a lot of products, a lot of papers on skincare are not on people of color and not on dark skin types. It's more for our Caucasian counterparts. And most people that are my color, that are color, don't really know how to take care of their skin. So that also further just, cemented my interest in focusing on people of color, basically. Yeah.
Yes. I completely agree. Most products that are made, not all currently that we have, is tailored to different skin types. But when it pertains to melanin skin, it differs what the needs are. So I'm very happy, and our listeners are very happy that you specialize in that area and that you can be of service to that community. So in pertaining to this topic, since we're on it, what kind of skin practices, as far as holistic skin practices, would you recommend for melanin skin to obtain skin health?
In terms of holistic, for holistic, I mean, I had to look the word up just to make sure I was still going to be in context. So it's more of like traditional practices of
Natural, yes.
natural, yes. So it would be more of things that one can do. For me, I would say it's more of like lifestyle tweakments that you can make. That's what I would say, natural ways, because it's not something I've really, really looked into. But as far as I know, it's more of making lifestyle choices that would also help your skin. So things like staying out of the sun as much as possible, that's avoiding direct sun exposure, making sure you're practicing safe sun protection products that you're already using, of course, because another part or another aspect that I would look at the holistic view, or my holistic view also, would be products that you have lots of like plant derivatives in them. And there's a lot of products out there that you've got things like aloe vera, things like Centella asiatica, really natural things that are just really good for the skin. 80% of products most skincare ingredients actually contain natural things. And I think it's beautiful that you have this platform so that people know more about these type of things, and that they're not particularly putting chemicals on their
Yes.
skin, because I know people are also very concerned about things like that. So yes, so apart from those things, that's where lifestyle choices also now come to kind of like back it up, because you can use all the products in the world if you
Mm.
still expose yourself to the sun. If you find that maybe what you do for a living makes you, be out a lot, and you're not practicing safe sun protection, like maybe using an umbrella that's got like a UPF rating, or wearing clothing that have UPF ratings, or just
Mm.
seeking shade when necessary, using sunscreen and making sure to reapply. If you don't also have all of these things in place, then you might not get the results that you're really looking to get. Same thing goes for different skin conditions, like acne, sensitivity, and things like that.
Mm.
If you don't make those lifestyle choices in terms of sensitivity, you want to look at things like, oh, does this client use lots of hot water? Is this somebody
Mm.
that uses hot water on a daily? Is this somebody that maybe uses these African sponges on a daily basis? So those are different things that you want to look into, and you want to make sure that you're advising people on, regardless of what products they might be using at home. I hope I've been able to answer that question.
Yes, you answered it very clearly. And for our
That's
listeners,
great.
and the
That's
main
great.
importance that I heard that you spoke about is using sunscreen and making
Yes.
sure the products that we are using doesn't have chemicals in them. So that's staying away from chemically infused products or synthetic products. So, I noticed that in our community or in the melanin skin community, that there's this notion that you don't need sunscreen because we already are dark or we already have the protection and that is not needed. So I just wanted to really speak on that and see your perspective on that and see why that is correct or why that's not correct.
Okay. So it's true. I've heard of that too before, but it is a myth. So it's not true. Like, yes, our skin or our melanin does give us maybe an SPF 13 or
Mm-hmm.
thereabout, but it is not enough to actually protect us from the sun. We're still at a risk of, melanoma, a type of skin cancer, if we don't, you know, apply sunscreen as consistently as possible, and reapplication is also very important. So the truth is that our melanocytes, the cells that produce pigments for in dark skin types, are more sensitive than Caucasian skin. So
Yes.
the truth is that when you're outside and you're exposed to the sun, and you're getting darker or you're tanning, that's just your body's response to trauma and damage. So I think when
Mm-hmm.
people think of it like that, that when you're spending so much time in the sun, even when it's not sunny, even when maybe it's just cloudy, those UV rays are still very present, and they're harmful, and they can even when you're inside, they can penetrate through your window panes, through your window blinds. So you want to make sure even when you're home, you're using sunscreen, even if reapplication is not very practical for most people. So it is very important. So the most important point to take away from this is that tanning or getting darker is just your body's response to danger or trauma. So you need to apply sunscreen, basically.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Eniola. You really explained that very well for those of us that are not aware of the importance of sunscreen, despite your skin color, despite your skin type. And I'm really happy that we spoke about that. So, when being a skin therapist in Lagos, what are some challenges that you face in providing your services?
The challenges I face is, I would say, is getting people to really understand the science behind skincare. So a lot of
Hmm.
people in the past have, in this part of the world, people are really obsessed with getting lighter. People are obsessed with, getting brighter than the actual skin complexion. And they forget that we're in a part of the world where it's really hot. There's only so much you can do to maintain whatever whitening quote
Mm,
and unquote, that you're doing. So I would say that's one of the challenges that I face with my clients, because it's only in recent times that a lot of them have now realized that, oh, these things, when you use them and you get fast action, then you're just setting yourself up for more trauma in the future. For example, someone that uses hydroquinone for so long, you find out that later in life they start to experience um different skin conditions,
mm,
green patches, bluish patches on the face and things like that, that would usually occur after long-term use of hydroquinone, especially if it's not used under a professional's care. So basically,
mm,
I would say that's really one of my challenges. Another one is getting people to actually, use sunscreen. I always explain to my clients that you can use all the best products in the world. If you're not protecting yourself from the, harmful rays of the sun, then it's not going to work. Nothing is going to work without sunscreen. That is the truth. And without practicing safe sun protection, that is the truth. So I would say that's another challenge. And a few other ones that are probably not coming to my head right now, but I would say those are the major ones, getting people to understand that it's not by lightening your skin, it's not by getting fast action, it's by,
mm.
doing a progressive over an aggressive approach, basically, because the goal is skin health, basically.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, that's been a challenge so far for me in this part of the world, in Lagos. Yeah.
Mm. So as far as bleaching the skin or skin bleaching as they call it, why do you think that is such a trend in our current era, and why do you believe that it's a psychological aspect that influences us to bleach our skin, or is it just a trend?
It's a psychological influence that, translated into a trend.
Mm,
Or maybe it goes both ways, but really, it has some psychological notion to it, if I may say that. And I feel like it's more of this like theme of double consciousness. Like, that's how I can explain it in my head. Like, you want to be like someone so badly that you even go as far as changing your skin color, because somehow being black has been labeled, maybe dirty or not good enough. Or so I would say it's got more of like a psychological background to it than a trend. But that now translated into a trend, obviously, because you find that a lot of people started doing it, and because obviously they also had access to ingredients that could do that fast action. Like I mentioned, hydroquinone. For the longest time, hydroquinone was over the counter, and it is the gold standard when it comes to skin lightening and such, but it is not the best because it causes more problems than good, actually, and most people don't know that. And I feel like now that we have lots of, doctors, that we have social media, basically, and lots of doctors are taking advantage of this platform to actually educate people on how these things are not the best for your skin, especially darker skin tones. So yes, I would say it's more psychological, and then it translated into a trend. Yeah.
you said it perfectly. What would you say are the side effects of bleaching your skin?
Well, there's a bunch of them, but one of them obviously is what they call exogenous ochronosis, where you have like these greenish, bluish patches on like the skin from long-term use, or from long-term use of hydroquinone. I tell my clients that there's no Bobrisky type of thing in here, because, I say Bobrisky because there's this popular guy in this part of the world, in Nigeria, that has, whitened the skin, and people kind of like, oh, they say they want to be that way because, fast action and things like that. But when you explain to them that that's really not what is happening here. You need to really take things slow and things like that. Some people understand, some not so much. But basically, it would be, yes, what they call exogenous occurrences, where you have those patches I can explain. And then it would also be, yes, liver dysfunction. But you find out that most of the things that we put on our skin actually can, get into our bloodstream. And that
Mm,
way, when you put like lots of things like hydroquinone, mercury, and things like that, yes. So all of those things that are termed bleaching agents can actually lead to kidney, liver dysfunction. So yeah,
yes,
that
yes,
would
that's.
also be
I am
another
happy
thing.
you highlighted and emphasized on that because
Yeah,
most of the time when we apply skincare products,
yeah,
and whether we choose a skincare product that has chemicals in it or not, the ingredients or the products, like you said, it goes into our bloodstream.
yeah,
And it doesn't just go into our pores. And I'm happy that you spoke about that because I think that this really emphasizes the importance of knowing what products you're using, understanding
yeah,
to read your labels, and if you can, staying away from products that have chemicals in them so that it doesn't affect not just your skin, but your health as well. Thank you so much, Eniola. It was definitely a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for blessing us with your wisdom today. And to our listeners, that let's move with, love. Let's move with caring for others. Because in totality, what that allows us to do is be of service to others, but most importantly, that allows us to fulfill our desire of just feeling at peace with ourselves, at just feeling that we have a purpose, and so on. So thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Please be sure to click follow, share this episode and all of our other episodes with family and friends. And thank you guys for tuning in again. Until next time, I hope that everybody has a blessed weekend. And I look forward to talking and speaking with you guys the following Sunday. Oh, one more note. So we drop each episode on every Sunday. So it's going to be every week. So just be sure to tune in. And thank you guys so much.